Hey there, patrons. How you doing? It's your boy, Jon Andrew here with you for another bonus episode of the Knicks Film School Podcast. And I know I say I'm always excited for these episodes, and I am always excited for these episodes. I don't know when's the last time I've been this excited to record a podcast. I'm not going to lie. Maybe it's because it's dog shit. Maybe it's because it's dog shit Knicks season. So I have my, let's get right into it. If you've checked out the regular Knicks Film School podcast episode for this week, you know what's coming. Got my two buddies here. I'm going to introduce you first, Yash, this time.
Okay.
Yash Manjunath. He is a defender of those accused of capital crimes in St. Louis, Missouri. Did I get that right?
Not just St. Louis. It's all of Eastern Missouri and even other parts of the state if it's a conflict. So really all over Missouri at this point.
And Yash, also noted sports fan and movie fan, and of course, sports movie fan, which is a good transition to our other guest today, Bernardo Zarowski. We're going to start off your intro. Bernard, of course, the curator and lead content contributor to inventionofdreams.com, as well as one of the co-hosts of Final Review Pod. Bernard, what is the first sports movie you ever remember seeing?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Is there one that stands out, or just if there's not one that stands out?
The two that stand out, I'm not sure which would have been first, is Major League 2 and Rudy are the first two that come to mind.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Major League 2.
Possibly not going to get drafted today. Just throw that out there.
Yeah.
Rudy,
I would have been I probably like 8. There's got to be earlier ones that I saw in theaters because my parents raised me very well and definitely weren't taking me to like R-rated movies when I was 4 years old. But
as Final Review listeners will know, it's definitely not true.
But probably Rudy. I definitely very clearly remember seeing Rudy when I was 7 or 8 years old in the movie theater.
Interesting. Yeah, I'll ask you, do you have a memory of your first sports movie that you saw?
Honestly, man, it might be Space Jam was certainly the most memorable. I don't know if it was literally my first one, but I was 6 when I saw it, and it left the strongest impression as a kid. So, yeah, Space Jam. Also Angels in the Outfield. That was another one.
Yeah.
I gotta say, and I think I'm safe to say this. Listen, we'll get to what we're doing. We're drafting some movies here, folks, some sports movies. I hope I don't wind up with this movie as much as I sung its praises on the regular episode this week. I think it might have been Blue Chips. I think Blue Chips might have been the first sports movie that I saw. It was 94, right? Yeah. So I would 11 years old. My parents were not big sports movie, but like we didn't even go to the movies like that much. Like they would go see, like back when people used to go see Oscar movies, they would go see Oscar movies. And like, big movies that everybody saw. Yeah, I think it was probably because Sandlot was after Blue Chips. Yeah, I think it was probably Andrew Claudio, of course, always part of this. Do you have memory of your first sports movie?
It's Space Jam is easily
it is Space Jam. Okay.
Number one guess. I did not know basketball existed until Space Jam, and then the rest is history.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So I loved Michael Jordan going in. Like that was my exposure to basketball. Just watching the second three-peat, and he was my just favorite thing ever as a kid. And then when, other than the Looney Tunes, and then when Space Jam came out, it was like, this is a movie. Wow.
I grew up a baseball fan. So like in a baseball household that didn't really like basketball. It's no shot to Pastor Claudio. He just was always a baseball fan. So I'm trying to think if there's a baseball movie I saw first, but I want to say
maybe Rookie of the Year.
Maybe
Rookie of the Year.
I like Rookie of the Year.
An early one for me.
Angels in the Outfield is a good call because, Jesus loves baseball too. Definite theme in the Claudio household growing up. But I think the first memory I have of seeing a sports movie has to be Space Jam. Now that I think about it.
Also, side note, like shout out to Christopher Lloyd. That guy has looked old for our entire lifetimes, and he's still alive and still making movies.
Go look at him in Cuckoo's Nest. I mean, he doesn't look. I mean, he looks younger, but like not appreciably different.
Like Back to the Future came out like before a couple of us were alive, and right around the time, and he looked old as fuck in that movie. and he's still alive all these years later. Good for him.
I just saw him at a Q&A for the Tender Bar. And,
oh, really?
Yeah. Still with it. Funny guy.
That's
makes
awesome.
like weird off-color jokes.
It makes me even
so he's a
happier.
dirty old man. All right. Good for him.
So before we get to our sports movie draft, which we'll explain the rules for in a second, we're moving around the Patreon order for the next couple of weeks to kind of go more in line with the end of the NBA season. So we'll do a final power rankings, we'll do a final awards thing, and then of course when the playoff brackets come out, we'll do playoff picks. But I just want to get your guys' input just on a couple quick things. MVP of the league this year. Yash, you got any strong feelings one way or the other?
I think Embiid is just the clear choice.
You and your narratives. You're a narrative guy. Well, you're a trial lawyer, so of course you're all about narratives.
But like,
bullshit narratives.
I think Embiid should win. But I mean, speaking of narrative, it's funny you bring that up. I think Ja Morant has like a dark horse case based on narrative, purely narrative. Like he shouldn't win. But
he's going to miss the next 2 weeks. I don't know if you saw that report earlier tonight. So I think whatever dark horse case he has.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, in that case, he had a dark horse case, and now that's done. So now it's Embiid. Embiid is the MVP, and I'm glad because if Ja had one, I think he would have stolen it from Embiid, who has I think been the best player.
Didn't even mention the guy I'm probably going to pick. Bernard, are you?
Yeah, Yash is sleeping on Giannis, but
is it Giannis for you?
No, it's not Giannis for me. Actually, yeah. I think it comes down to
we're all sleeping on Giannis.
It's a 3-horse race, right? We have Giannis, Jokic, and Embiid is really where we're at right now. I think it's going to be Embiid. I don't think they're going to go back to Jokic. It feels like there's an extra weight to 2 in a row.
Extra weight in Jokic.
He lost the weight. Come on.
But no, it doesn't feel like the type of player, even if the metrics say otherwise, he doesn't really feel like the type of player who necessarily deserves that like imprimatur of 2-time back-to-back MVP. And Macri is disgusted by that point.
Well, no, I just because a lot of discussion is talked about like how the Oscar votership is changing, which is, relevant to today's episode. And I'm curious, I think this MVP vote will speak a lot to where the current state of NBA, because the advanced, there is no advanced case for anybody other than Jokic. He's having a better advanced statistical season than he was last year when he had one of the greatest advanced statistical seasons of all time. So I'll be curious to see what happens.
And they're a 6 seed. Like,
yeah, they're a 6 seed, and if you take him off that roster, they have 20
they look
wins?
like the Knicks.
They wouldn't even look that good.
Yeah,
that's right. But at a certain point, when does like you're valuable to a 6 seed be part of the conversation?
Yeah.
Russ won it as a 6 seed, and he's having
and we all hate that. And we all hate that.
Yeah.
No, we hate it because the reason why he won, because people voted for the triple double, which was a ridiculous reason. And he had a lot of good clutch moments also.
The historical precedent for Jokic is Moses, because he won it in back-to-back years in 83 and he's either 83 and 84, 82 and 83. And one of those years they were a 6 seed, and it was just undeniable. This guy is the best player in the league. We're voting for him. If you want to go that route, then there's historical precedent. I actually do think you guys are sleeping on Giannis, because in all of these advanced metrics that
I think it's
Jokic leads, Giannis is second, and he's right now the 2 seed in a better conference.
That's I know it is the better conference. Like,
especially if Jokic's team ends up in the play-in. Like, yes, his team is dog shit, but a guy that is the 7 seed at best in the playoffs in a worse conference versus the guy that has home court against every team but one. Like, there's also a chance the Bucks get the 1 seed. So I think there's a case for Giannis, who, by the way, is averaging the same amount of points per game, more rebounds, more assists, and a higher field goal percentage than Embiid.
Finals picks. I don't know which way I'm leaning for the finals quite yet. I think there are legitimately 8 or 9 teams that need to be in consideration. Bernard, you're nodding your head. Are you leaning one way in either conference? Are you leaning strongly in one way or the other?
My heart is making me lean towards the Bucks in the East because I just can't accept the thing that I think is probably going to happen, and it bums me out a lot.
What do you think is the thing that's going to happen?
Really, I think Brooklyn is going to turn it on. I'm really worried about it.
We should say that what is Kyrie now going to get to play?
He's eligible to play any game.
He's eligible to play any game now. And I think that's a big difference maker, having fresh Kyrie who set the world on fire in the last week. And it hurts me to say I'm going with the Bucks though. I despite the pain in my stomach, I'm going with the Bucks from the East, and I'm going with Phoenix out west.
Rematch.
I don't feel overwhelmingly confident in it, but it does seem like it seems like Booker and Ayton have stepped up from last year. It feels like the crucible of last year is good, good toughening up for a real run this year.
I will say this about Phoenix before we go to you, Yash. I don't know. They're playing Denver tonight. Chris Paul is making his return. They're playing Denver as we were recording this. Chris Paul is making his return. I don't know if that game has gone final yet or what, but they have a chance to get above 65 wins. And if you just look, I know it's not any kind of like advanced argument. If you just look at the teams in NBA history that have won 65 or more games, a great many of them won the NBA championship. And I don't think that that's a coincidence, especially when you look at like, there's not going to be another team that sniffs 60 games this year. So
what are they at now? Like 58?
If they win their next game, it's 60, right?
Oh, wow. Yeah. So they right now they are at 59 and 14. So if they won out, they could top out at 68 wins, but I'm not expecting them to win out. But even again, if they just get to 65, like 65 is that's a big number.
They're currently in Denver at time of recording, down 2 in the third quarter. So if they win tonight, they're at 60.
Wow.
Yeah. Yash.
Yeah. So in the East, man, you really see how much of a nihilist Bernard is, because he hates Kyrie Irving and the Nets more than any of us. And he's like that. That's where the nihilism is coming in. That the bleak, the Nets aren't that good. I'm just gonna say it. Like they've been bad all year, and they're not just all of a sudden going to flip a switch and be the best team in the East. With respect to Giannis, who I love, who's my favorite player in the NBA, and I don't want to sleep on Giannis ever. That's not.
I can't believe you're cheating on RJ.
Oh yeah, no, Giannis is my favorite player in the NBA. RJ is my favorite Knick, but I think this is the Sixers' year. I think Harden and Embiid.
Really,
I think they're gonna get the Sixers to the finals. I do. The West is more interesting. I hear you. The Suns are again having an unbelievable year, and they're great. They're phenomenal. Depending on how healthy Steph is, I wouldn't count out the Warriors.
Really?
Yeah,
I'm kind of counting out the Warriors.
I'm the other way on the Warriors. They're 6-12 in their last 18.
But
Mr. Warriors.
But again, depending on how healthy they are in the playoffs, they're a team. They're an older team. Like they've secured a top seed. I also think part of it with them is they don't really care about the regular season. Like how, Duncan Spurs at a certain point, like he just stopped caring about the regular season and was a totally different player in the playoffs. I think you're going to see those Warriors players. They've been together for so long, and they've got one more. I think they've got one more run in them. I really and it might be this year, but they're going to need to be. They're going to need to be healthy.
I dig it.
I have not slept on Brooklyn all year. Like some people are sleeping on Giannis. I've not slept on Brooklyn. I'm not going to sleep on him now. That's all I'm going to say. I hate it. I hate myself for it.
Yeah, the other nihilists.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong.
I'm kidding.
Throughout NBA history, the teams with the best players often, super shockingly, do fairly well. And I don't know that any team has the top end talent that Brooklyn has. I say that I don't even think Ben Simmons is ever going to play a game this year, but I don't know that
if they still had Harden, it would be a different story. I think because that team with the three of them last year, they were destroying the Bucks until injuries happened, and that team looked like the best collection of talent maybe I've seen on a basketball court.
Like I said, I'm not.
But that's not that team anymore. That's not them anymore.
I think the Bucks could do it. I think the Bucks could beat them again. I think the Bucks probably will beat them again. I don't know.
Yash,
okay.
You're ignoring your own argument, which is if there's any team that's, played half-ass this season to save it for the playoffs, to do the Spurs plan, it's Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Except that's not what happened. They were so bad.
Intentionally or otherwise.
They've one of their three Kyrie just took most of the year off. Like, who's going to be fresher?
And Harden forced his way off the team. He's not even there anymore.
Addition by subtraction.
No, it's not at all.
I think it kind of is.
This is a Harden thing, though, because Yash, you have been in Harden's corner a little bit more definitely than I have, and apparently more than these two have either. Although John, I think, respects.
I respect Harden a lot.
The regular season version of him too.
When push comes to shove, I know of all of the players in the NBA playoffs. If you're asking me to list who do I trust in the last 5 minutes of a game, Kevin Durant's going to be number one, and if Kyrie Irving's not going to be number two, he's pretty fucking close. So
right,
yeah,
Giannis would split that for me. So who's stopping him on Brooklyn? Yeah, throw DeAndre Jordan, who he's consistently ate his lunch.
I think it could be a series where Giannis averages 43, 17, and 7, and they might lose in 6. I'm just saying.
If Ben Simmons was back, which is why I think Brooklyn's a sneaky pick for next year, then maybe.
Yeah.
The fact that their road's going to be too tough.
If they had Ben Simmons, it's like you were saying, Zachary, about the team with the best players wins. Yeah, if they had Ben Simmons playing right now, or if they still had Harden healthy and all three of them together, it'd be a very different story. But that's not the team that we have. It's all right. They have KD and they have Kyrie. That's plenty. They're going to be formidable, but they're not the best team in the East this year. Maybe next year, like Andrew said.
I'm not sure whatever.
Go ahead, John. No.
I was going to say, I'm not sure whatever version of Ben Simmons they'd be getting this year would actually necessarily make them better. Who the hell knows what state of physical / mental / whatever else that dude is in? I don't know.
None of you picked who I'm leaning toward for the East.
Oh, Miami.
Boston. They're 28-7. They're 28-7 since RJ hit that shot.
That's
Their
fair.
rating is 9. Every win they have is double figures.
I know.
I get it that come playoff time, you'll have to they have to win in the half court, but they've shown they can win in the half court.
Yeah, no, they're good. They're very good. I don't trust it as a championship team yet. Bernard, last thought.
I'll say the team that I have a weird sneaking suspicion could do some damage is Utah. Depending on how the matchups play out, I kind of think they're good
all year. Yeah,
kind of think they're good, even without my boy Joe Ingles. I think they're pretty good.
I think this is Luka's year to win a playoff series because he will be playing the Utah Jazz, and then all offseason things will happen.
We just talked. We just mentioned 9. I think we just mentioned
9 teams. Yeah. What's funny is I don't think Jokic's team has a chance.
Me neither. Me neither. And that's
I know you default to they have.
Well,
Jokic,
let's see if Murray comes. I mean, look, we haven't seen.
They said Murray. I thought Murray said they said Murray's not coming back.
I thought and then maybe I missed something because I thought the last report that I saw was that Murray and Porter were both possible, but maybe I'm wrong on that.
That would change things. But if it's just Jokic and he's coming from the 6th seed and they're going to Golden State.
No, if it's just Jokic, that's different.
Yeah, that's different.
Let me look this up right now. Okay. Andrew, do you want to explain the rules of what we're doing today?
Sure. So we're going to be doing a sports movie draft, and we have 6 categories in which the 4 of us are going to be drafting a movie in each category. It's going to be out of any order, like any draft has been done in the past. The 6 categories are a football movie, a basketball movie, a baseball movie, an individual sport. So that's boxing, combat, MMA, golf, tennis, whatever have you. A sport where you don't have teammates. I guess poker technically could qualify as that, or even racing could qualify as that. Although if you wanted to argue that your pit crew is your team, it would fall under the next category, which is a team sport. So the team sport excludes all football, basketball, and baseball movies. So this is your hockey, this is your soccer, this is your rugby, this is your bobsled, wherever you want to go, you can go that direction in the team sport.
Love the subtle John Candy shout out.
And then the wild card, which is any sports movie in any category you can go with. So those 6 categories. In a minute, we're going to decide the draft order. Gentlemen, do you have any questions?
How are we going to handle if something comes up as to if someone objects to whether it is a sports movie or not.
The other 3 people vote.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll
That's
vote.
fair.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
fair.
You guys ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. So we'll go in age order. So John, your first.
Fuck you.
Your card is a queen.
Queen. Perfect. No better card for John.
I was about to say, I've never been happier to be called the queen of my life.
Oz, your card is the Joker. Wow,
So-
your favorite movie. All right,
He
hold on.
goes first.
No, I'm
right?
getting a new card. A new card. Joker's not a card. This is in spades. Okay. Your card actually is, an 8.
All right.
Okay. Then I'm next. Right? You're 31, right? 32?
32.
Okay. So I'm next, and my card is Jeez, I'm last. All right.
What'd you get?
I got a 2. Actually, I don't hate that. I get the wraparound pick, but there's a movie I think Yash is going to pick ahead of me, which I'm not happy about. So we'll see. All right. The next card, the last card. Let's see if we can get you a king or an ace. A 7. All right. So John, you get the first pick. So it's John, then Oz, then Yash, then me.
And the goal here is to win the vote, right?
Yeah. So you guys on Patreon, by the way, I won the small forward draft. Thank you to everybody for helping me.
Oh, I voted for you.
Thank you for winning the ad election.
So you won the whole season.
Yeah. So I win the seasonal drafts 3-2. John has the first pick. Oz, your second. Yash, your third. I'm fourth. You guys will be voting on Patreon to tell us who wins. We're going by favorite movies. Which movie collection of movies do you like the most on the 4 selective teams? Again, these are six rounds. I think I've set it up enough. John, the first pick in the Patreon sports movie draft is what?
So I was not anticipating getting the first pick, but I'm happy I did. So I'll just say that I do think that there is some strategy at play in this draft because of the categories. I do think that there is some thought to taking certain movies in certain categories because of what else is available or not available in those categories. And I also think it's going to be interesting that we, what is the average age of our voting populace? Because it's interesting. Some of these movies are really from all over the place and like what have you. At the end of the day, though, if I have the first pick and I have a chance to draft one of the greatest American movies ever that happens to be a sports movie, I think I kind of need to do it. And only because Bernard obviously was going to take it with his first pick, I have to take Raging Bull.
Wow.
Yep. I mean,
I was going to take it.
Wow.
I just,
oh, yikes. Friendships are going to end today.
man, I don't know how you, like, it's one of the greatest movies of all time. That is a sports movie. That doesn't necessarily make it one of the, no, it makes it one of the greatest sports movies. Does it make it the obvious first pick in this draft? Maybe not. I don't know, but that's my first pick. Bernard is so
I am. I'm really mad. I'm really mad.
Yeah.
I could have had Marty and now I can't. And that really upsets my heart. All right. I'm going to think tactically about what these categories are and how deep some of them are. So I think some of these categories are going to be pretty easy to get a movie that a lot of people like. I think the team sport category, keeping in mind that we're excluding baseball, football, and basketball from it, blows. I think that's a really soft category. And I think there's a very clear greatest hockey movie ever made.
Okay.
And that movie is Miracle. So I'm taking Miracle with my first pick here because I don't want to be stuck taking like Bend It Like Beckham later or something like that in the team category.
How dare you?
So Miracle it is.
Smart pick.
Interesting. It's very interesting. Okay. Interesting.
Okay. Wow. This is tough because there are several movies and I'm torn between, do I want to go with my heart or do I want to go for the win?
Do you need clarification on if Herbie Fully Loaded is in the because it's an
individual sport, I think.
Yeah, I think it's individual sport.
Oh, is it a team because the car is alive?
Carr and Lindsay are.
Yeah, I think there's an argument for team there. No, I'm going to go with, I think the movie that Andrew does not want me to pick, but I'm going to. It's Space Jam.
Motherfucker.
Because Michael Jordan means
first round elimination in our basketball.
I was about to say, yeah.
So here's my justification for it. I think just like when we did the Will Smith moment, where you guys severely were off on things like Hibbert blocking Melo and how popular that was going to be. I think the crowd will be with me on Space Jam. This movie also just means a lot to me. It's my first sports movie memory with my dad. We both loved that movie. Him being 30 something and me being a kid, loved it equally. Listened to that soundtrack like a million times. And it's Michael Jordan. It's the GOAT. He still means so much to not just the sport of basketball, but to sports in general and the culture. I got to go with Space Jam.
Okay. It's respectable. I get it. Yeah.
It was, like you said, it was going to be my pick if you didn't take it. I will say there were 3 movies that when I made my cheat sheet, made my long list, I was like, these are just flat out the tier of movies I need on my team. And I didn't think I'd get all 3, and I'm not, but I'm going to get 2 of them. So I will start with my favorite baseball movie ever. And it's the movie that, if you've listened to Final Review, those of you that have, thank you very much. And you'll know exactly what's coming. It's my number 1 Kevin Costner performance as well. It actually captures a time in this country when baseball actually was magical and dominant, and people actually enjoyed it for the beauty that it shows, because the one constant through all the years, Ray, has been baseball. America's rolled by like an army of steamrollers. It's been erased like a blackboard, but baseball has marked the time. I'm going Field of Dreams with my
it was pick. Your number. It scored in the past on Final Review as the number 2 Ray Liotta performance for you on our Goodfellas podcast.
Yes.
Oh, wow. I forgot that. Yeah.
Okay. And only because I couldn't I couldn't in good conscience. I was going to say I couldn't in good conscience put it at 1 over Goodfellas. Okay. So I'll put Field of Dreams as my first pick. And then I don't have to talk about this next one much because we just did a Final Review about it. I'll go Remember the Titans with my favorite football movie.
Andrew, that was going to be my pick if you didn't take it. So
so we're even.
We're even. We're even.
This is up there for me with Denzel. This is up there for me with team sports movies. I can quote 90% of the movie, specifically the locker room scene at training camp. You blitz all night will get me to run through a wall. If John ever showed up to the post game with, I don't want them to gain another yard. It's like, where are we going, John? Who we kick? We're going to kick Berman's ass. I'm on it. Let's do it. So those are my first 2 picks. Remember the Titans and Field of Dreams.
I like it. A lot of bangers off the board already. Yash, this is an interesting decision because there are here's the thing. Some nice movies have been taken. Still a lot of really good stuff on the board here.
Yes. And I am so torn right now between, again, going with my heart or going with what I think is going to be a popular movie. I'm going to go with what I think will be a popular movie, but also a pick from the heart, and will maybe piss off Bernard a little bit that I'm going to get it and he won't. And that's Major League. I love this movie. It's, we think about baseball. There's a lot of great baseball movies. Yeah, kind of. But Major League is maybe the best baseball movie. I mean, you want to say Field of Dreams, fine, but it's taken. It's fun, but it's also, it's just a good baseball movie. It's just a good movie, period. Major League.
I was hoping.
Hey, there's still Major League 2 for you, Macri.
Major League is, I think Major League is probably my favorite, might be my favorite sports movie. So I'm a little upset that it's up there. It's up there.
I think we did this on the pod. It's my second favorite 80s comedy behind either Ghost. I forget whether I went Ghostbusters 1, but it's either that or Coming to America.
Yeah.
You know?
Good. I was going to take Major League with my next pick. So
were you?
Thanks.
Okay.
I'm not actually that mad. Baseball's super deep. I just
baseball is very
so
deep,
much.
Yeah.
Baseball is easily the deepest category in the field. Well, maybe not, but I'm going to go with. Football here. And for football, I'm going to take the football movie that most resonates for me. The one that moves me the most, the one that I'm also not counting Jerry Maguire as a football movie. So,
I was going to ask, but I figured I agree with you. So I guess we could just say it now.
We didn't count it on final review, so I don't think we should count it here. But I'm going with Rudy for football.
I'm actually surprised. I thought you were going a different direction with that.
I thought he was going in a different direction as well.
No. That's best speech. But
yeah, okay.
So I am in an interesting spot. I am in a very interesting spot. Because again, a lot of talent still on the board here. So I'll tell a little quick story. I think Bernard was and Yash actually probably were in these leagues at some point. When I used to run a fantasy football league of my own, I used to always make it 2 quarterback. And oftentimes I would use my first 2 picks on quarterbacks. And sometimes it worked and sometimes it didn't. I know Bernard is not a huge fan of this movie. I don't care. I'm going to try to stack the deck and just win the vote. And I'm going to take Rocky with this pick.
Okay.
Where are you putting it?
So yeah, that's the interesting part because
it's got to go wild card.
Yeah, that's the only place it can go.
I'm taking the wild card now, which again, there is a lot of strategy here because that means I can't take a second baseball movie and I can't take a second, football movie. And there are lots of those films out there. Which now makes me have to be really selective about those categories. That's going to be one pick. And I also can't. There's a lot of other individual sports movies that I really love, but I got to go with Rocky. The next pick, man, I was hoping. I really wanted Major League. I really wanted Major League. I'm not gonna lie. And you took Rudy. I'm going to go with the movie that just won our basketball draft. And I'm going to go with He Got Game in basketball.
Well done.
It's a fair pick.
I mean, yeah, there we go. Giddy up.
All right. For my next pick, I'm going to thank John for doing me the service of taking not the best movie in the Rocky franchise and leaving the best movie in the Rocky franchise for me in the individual category. I'm taking Creed. Creed is fucking great. It is aged like fine wine. The fight scenes are absolutely incredible. Michael B. Jordan is amazing. And Ryan Coogler's basically the single director whose career you want to buy stock in over the next 40 years. Creed fucking rocks. I'm overjoyed to have Creed as the 3rd boxing movie off the board. Frankly, it's the best boxing movie ever made. Raging Bull is a better film. Creed's a boxing movie.
Creed is a boxing movie. It is. I'm not going to discount. Obviously, I'm not going to argue with you about anything with movies, but Rocky to me has elevated to that place in American cinema where it's on and it's Rocky and like.
No, I know you want to watch people throw punches that land 2 feet away from their opponent. I get it.
Look at you making your case. I would actually give it some if I wasn't crazy, or if I was crazy, I would have given some thought to Rocky 4 because Rocky 4 is arguably my favorite Rocky movie. I know
it may come up soon. Don't spoil the deck, okay? Don't spoil what might come up.
He fucked it up with the Stallone cut.
Yeah,
which I did not see, and I don't think I
way worse. It's way worse.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that gives us that brings us to Yash, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, Creed. I was going to take Creed at some point. So
I didn't think it'd get back to me. So I was also in the, I hope it does, but I figured Oz was coming back with it soon.
Bernard makes a good point about the team category being very weak here because we can't pick any of the major sports. It might be a little early for this movie, but I'm going to take it anyway because it's a real crowd pleaser, and it's maybe one of the stronger entries in a weak field. I'm going to go with the Mighty Ducks.
Which one?
Great.
The first one.
Okay.
Oh, so Andrew's going to take a
vamp about the Mighty Ducks if you want. Go ahead.
No, I'm curious to see what you're going to do.
Well, I'm still. Come on, this is a podcast. Talk about why you picked the Mighty Ducks.
I mean, look, this is part
you
nostalgia.
Love the Mighty Ducks?
It's part nostalgia, but it's also just, I know that everybody you talk to about the Mighty Ducks loves it in our age group. Like it's just, this is me picking with my head. And I think that I think it belongs here.
Well, I'm glad
the softness of this category.
I'm glad you admitted to the voters that you have no passion for the selection that you just made.
I was about to say, yeah. So it's a tough beat.
So
okay, that's not accurate at all. I do love the Mighty Ducks, but anyway.
I also love the Mighty Ducks, Yash. And it's why I'm going to take the better Mighty Ducks movie, D2 Mighty Ducks, which gives you the US versus Iceland rivalry, which gives you the Bash Brothers because Portman's not on the team in the first movie. It gives you all of the Gordon Bombay sellout narrative, and then how he's having ice cream with the Iceland lady, and then the kids turn on him, and then he goes back to his roots and discovers why he got into hockey in the first place and how corporate greed has ruined sports, and you have to get back to the heart of the issue. And it's why you have the shootout sequence in the knuckle puck time of Kenan Thompson of it all. Man, my D2 Mighty Ducks is the correct Mighty Ducks movie to take. So I will be taking it with my first of two picks. Go ahead.
I love you, Andrew, because that's what I thought you were going to do.
Putting it in team.
I thought you were going to do that. I really wanted to like move past it because I wanted to hear your thoughts, because that is a very valid take. I hear you on that. Everything you said, and And by the way, I guess Macri and Bernard are the haters of the Mighty Ducks franchise because
I hate. I mean, my wife loves it.
It's fine. Yeah, they're old people that don't appreciate knuckle pucks. Have you guys ever tried a knuckle puck? You guys ever played hockey? What am I talking about?
I've done it in street hockey.
Have you? Okay, you've done the knuckle puck.
I've tried. It doesn't
really
work.
It.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. You know how disappointed I was, and I realized the physics don't do that. Like if you hit a puck and you flip it up, then like. It doesn't do. I was so mad. I was like 14 or like probably closer to 10 when I found that out. But regardless, D2 Mighty Ducks will be my first pick, and I'm putting it in team.
It's a good pick.
And then we get a little tough here because I have individual open, I have wild card, and I have basketball. And there are a lot of movies that I still want to select. I think the smart move is to take an individual movie right now. And John brought up something by noting the average age of our listeners. And it's why I'm curious which I should go with a movie that was popular in the 80s, popular in the 70s, popular in the 2010s. I'm going to trust that those of you that saw Warrior felt the same things that I felt. And I'm going to take the combat movie Warrior, starring Joel Edgerton and Tom Hardy, that has the most like make a grown man cry ending that I've seen. And probably amongst these outside, I've just realized I've taken two that are probably like that. So I will go Warrior in my individual category and make that my pick.
Okay. That's
greatest MMA movie.
What's up?
Greatest MMA movie.
Greatest. That's what I would have said too.
Okay, very low bar.
I want to read
Kevin James one.
Here Comes the Boom.
Here Comes the Boom. Okay,
that movie I enjoyed the one portion.
Yeah. I enjoyed the Fighting with My Family. I know that's a WWE movie.
But
that movie's good.
Yeah,
that's good. So Yash, now I just want to recap. So Andrew, you now have in team sport D2 Mighty Ducks, individual sport Warrior, baseball Field of Dreams, football Remember the Titans. There's definitely a feel to your you are You are true to the brand.
Mm-hmm.
Yash,
baby.
speaking of fucking ridiculous brands, Space Jam in basketball, Major League I can't bash Major League. It's fucking awesome in baseball, and the original Mighty Ducks. Shout out Josh. Was Joshua Jackson back for the second one?
Yep.
Yes, he's in all three.
Okay, he was in all. Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
And that and team sports. So now you have left football, individual, and wild card.
Okay. I don't think anybody's going to take what my pick would be for football. So I'm going to leave that one open.
Interesting.
So wild card can be anything, right?
Yes.
Wild card could be any sports movie.
Here, I'm going to pick purely with my heart, but it's a movie that we've been talking about a lot. For people who listen on the regular podcast, I'm going to go with Love and Basketball.
I knew it. Good call.
I love this movie so much. And I figured nobody else would take it, but I want to take it, and I want it on my roster. So
I score, you strip, Yash. There's a scene in the movie, guy.
It doesn't make it any less delightful that you just said those words.
Good.
Oz,
we're all going to go to San Antonio after this.
I'm very curious to see what because Oz, let's recap Oz, who has a strong lineup here. Football, Rudy. Team sport, Miracle. Individual, Creed.
So I'm going to go with a movie that I know Andrew Claudio scored very well once upon a time on our Social Network episode.
Oh.
And in the baseball category,
fuck.
I'm going to go with Moneyball.
Yeah.
Fuck. Sorry.
Moneyball is profoundly rewatchable. It's one of Brad Pitt's best performances. It's Jonah Hill's best performance. It perhaps misses some of the nuances of the actual Sabre philosophy and forgets that they had, 3 Cy Young caliber pitchers and an MVP caliber shortstop on the team. But it works really well as an inspirational sports movie. It works really well as sort of a general underdog, fuck the rich guys sort of movie. Moneyball is really good and it's aged very well. Moneyball, that's going to be my baseball pick.
A very appropriate Oz pick here.
Yeah.
Yes.
And this is a banger of a lineup that Oz has shaping up. That's okay. You made this decision, I think, easier for me. Because now I know I'm going to be able to get, well, I'll save it. So I'm going to, it's Al. I'm going to go with Any Given Sunday here for football. I have to do it. I don't want to risk that Yash is going to take Any Given, and maybe he wouldn't have. There's other football movies on the board here that are very good.
You're right. My pick is in the same vein, but it's not Any Given Sunday.
Okay. And that's fine. But I also have to worry about wild card. You never know. Somebody might look, is Any Given Sunday the greatest movie ever? No, it's not. But the things that it hits. And I will rely on that. And now it's interesting because team sport, Miracle, Mighty Ducks, and D2 Mighty Ducks have all been taken. So I'm pretty sure the team sport movie that I have left or that I have in mind is still going to be there. Whereas I don't think anyone would take the baseball movie that I have in mind either. Of the two, I think the likelihood is that someone would take the baseball more than the team sport that I have in mind. So I'm going to take one of. This is my favorite baseball movie other than Major League, more than Moneyball. I'm going to take A League of Their Own. I love A League of Their Own.
Great choice. That's awesome.
I love that movie. It was great. Okay. Bernard.
Shout out Tom Hanks.
At some point, people like, I don't know, 50 years from now, will look back on the cast of that movie and like Google, like, who is Rosie O'Donnell? Who is Madonna? Who is Tom Hanks? Who is Gina Davis? The star of the movie is like probably the least notable. Like, just what a time to be alive.
Yeah.
Shout out Bill Pullman. Mm-hmm. All right, so I'm going to go with a basketball movie here, and there are really two options that I'm considering, and there's one that is perhaps the quintessential classic basketball movie, and there's one that I think it's a better film, but it's not really about basketball. It's a character drama that happens in the world of basketball. And I'm going to go with the quintessential basketball film here and go with the classic. The archetype, I'm taking Hoosiers.
You're going for the win. Bernard's going for the win.
Yeah. Which
I'm not going for the win.
I respect it. I respect it. It is the correct pick.
Thank you. I agree.
Yeah.
Okay, that brings it to Yash. Okay, so Yash, you have two categories left. You go either football or individual sport here.
Okay, so for my individual sport, this might be a little bit of a controversial take, maybe. I don't know. Until Macri picked A League of Their Own, we out of female representation in our movies up to this point. I'm going to go with $1 Million Baby.
Okay. You wanted it, Andrew?
Yeah. I was wondering if it would make it back to me. Well done.
It captures the underdog spirit of boxing. And I know Bernard's making that face that I'm sure he's one of the people who hates on $1 Million Baby because he likes to be a contrarian about things. But this is, and I love it. I'm really glad that it was here for me. I'm glad that it's on my list. And
that internet though.
Yeah, you're choppy. So Yash is happy.
I love $1 Million Baby. While the sudden break, as we'll call it, in the third act is jarring and takes the movie in a completely different direction.
Can I just say before I turn to Bernard, because I want to hear Bernard vamp on this for a minute. The scene where they come back with all the Disneyland shit is just glorious to visit her.
There's also Luke Cage is in that movie. He's the original boxer in the opening scene that turns away Eastwood, and it's like, I got to go with a more experienced guy for my
Bernard
title run.
All I'm going to say is that having taste and caring about the quality of the filmmaking and liking a director who doesn't just shoot things in one take because he's old and fucking lazy is it's not contrarian. It's called having taste, Yash. So
yes, continue telling everybody why Clint Eastwood is actually bad.
No, but I'm happy to. Do you have a chair that I can talk to while I do it?
Bernard, we've accused a lot of people of a lot of things on this podcast. Accusing Yash of having taste is not something I will stand for. Claudio.
Accusing Oz of being a contrarian isn't all that far. Although as someone who talks to him for 3 hours a week, I knew this was coming. So,
yeah,
I will say, damn, both of the picks I was going to.
So this is your last, let's recap your last two picks. So you have basketball and wild card left.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So my basketball movie, I knew was going to make it back to me. So I knew I was saving it for last, and that's Coach Carter. Okay. I've talked about it on the regular pod. It's got the best basketball. The basketball practice scenes also really work for me. Like I'm not a teacher. I'm the new head basketball coach. The moment in which they offer to help Cruz with all of the laps and all of the push-ups and all the suicide that he still has left is cheesy sports movie stuff, but this is a sports movie draft. And that shows the chemistry and the team building. It's the same as like all of the team building that's done in Miracle, even though it's a little more subtle. Best basketball movie in a basketball movie. So I'll go Coach Carter with my first pick here. Okay. So wild card. Do I want to go with another baseball movie here? Do I want to go? I'm trying to think of the voter too, that this might just be a little pandering, like pulling a bottle of hot sauce out of my purse, you know?
You have a chance to pander here.
I do. I'm not going Eddie, first of all. I'm not going that route.
I don't think that was not the type of pandering.
As pandering? I'm just saying pander in the sense of like, hey, look, the Knicks movie. I picked it, guys. And we should mention at the top of the show, we didn't say this, but in our group chat and our planning of the show, no documentaries, which is why Hoop Dreams has not showed up yet.
Yep.
Okay. Just making sure. Which is why I will hope that a lot of you have seen these movies from the 80s that either were before you were born or happened when you were enjoying the 80s. And this is where I'll end up with Rocky IV.
Oh, well. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Okay. One of, if not the most 80s movie that's ever existed.
Oh, it's the most.
You have an entire sequence where it's like living in America and it's rah Reagan era. You have like the white guy ends up avenging the death of a proud black man. You have Russia as the main villain. You have a speech that ends the Cold War. It's the most 80s movie that's ever existed. So Rocky IV will be my last pick.
Okay. That's pretty good. All right. Yash, I can't wait to see which direction you go with this one.
Think I know, but I'm curious if I'm right.
I think you're probably right too, Andrew. I'm surprised that Macri doesn't know already. It's The Replacements.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, look, like it just captures the underdog spirit of a good sports movie. I mean, I think Keanu is great in this, like how everybody's giving him shit for that Sugar Bowl game. I mean, this band of misfits that comes together, you know, I think it's just a fun, good, uplifting football movie, but in a kind of a quirky, non-traditional way. And it's just a fun hang every single time. The Replacements will be my last pick.
Okay. I like that movie. I like Rhys Ifans in that movie. Plays the kicker. You also know him as the Lizard in Spider-Man.
Oh, yeah.
Those are the only two things he's known for.
I was about to say, I can't think of another thing.
Notting Hill. He's the dude who lives on the couch.
Oh, he is?
Notting Hill.
That is in
that's
Notting Hill.
right.
That guy's good.
Versatile actor there.
So I have a wild card left, which means I've got a lot of options here. I'm, and I'll just be candid. There's only one more pick left. I'm not going to spoil anything for Macri. I'm thinking about Bull Durham. I think it's the perhaps the second best baseball movie ever made and hasn't been picked. I'm thinking about Ford versus Ferrari. We haven't represented racing, and I think that one is fucking fantastic. I'm even thinking about Bring It On because that movie is hilarious. And
wow.
But where I'm going to go here with wild card is what I think is the second best movie that's going to be selected in the draft today. Give credit to Macri. Raging Bull is the best movie that has been drafted. I'm taking Darren Aronofsky's The Wrestler. And I understand there's some quibble about the sports nature
I thought about
of wrestling. But if you watch that movie, there's absolutely no question about the physical suffering that character goes through to perform his art. There's no question about the physical nature of it. It absolutely fits in the sports movie category for me. And for a wild card, I think it's frankly, I think it's the best performance ever in a sports movie, even better than De Niro in Raging Bull. And I'm very happy to take The Wrestler, my wild card pick.
This is an Oz ass list.
It really is. It really is. So it comes down to me. I have to select a team sport movie, which again is not football, not baseball, not basketball. I'm going to try to be true to myself here. There are I know like Slapshot is a popular hockey movie. I've never seen it. So I'm not going to pick it. I'm not going to take something I haven't seen and that I'm not passionate about. There's a bunch of soccer movies out there that are good that I don't feel particularly strongly about. I love I can't in good conscience take Bring It On after you brought it up because I didn't even think about that one.
I think it qualifies under team though.
Yeah, you could take it.
Yeah, no. I know it can. There is a part of me that wants to take. I can't believe I'm going to say this out loud. Cool Runnings.
Hey,
I love Cool Runnings. It's a fun movie.
Rhythm.
I'm
Feel
just
the rise. Get on up. It's bobsled time.
It's bobsled time. It's a super fun movie, and I love John Candy. But I am going to take what I feel is the best movie. And it was the movie that I always kind of had in my mind for back pocket. And I do believe it qualifies for team because it is a racing team, even though there was one person driving the car. Bernard just said it. I'm going to go Ford v Ferrari, which was the movie that I I think I enjoyed the most from the year that it came out, and it was a pretty good year for movies. That movie's fucking dynamite. So I'll finish it up with that.
Do you remember the year you're talking about?
I do remember, and Little Women is another movie that I love from that year, and there were some other notable films that were of some renown.
It was in my top 10 too. That's a good movie.
It was in mine too. So top 15, but regardless.
So
it's a dad movie, and I'm
a super dad movie. Yeah,
it's a super dad. Yeah.
Now that you both brought up Ford versus Ferrari, that might actually have been, had I been even thinking about that, my pick over even the Mighty Ducks. That's a great call for team. Really is. I mean, as the one person here who actually loves to.
Oh yeah, you do race.
Yeah. It's so much fun.
Biggest snubs here. I gotta think Bull Durham, Sandlot, and Karate Kid not getting selected were the three.
Andrew, Karate Kid and $1 Million Baby. Those were the two I was torn on, and it really.
You chose poorly.
In hindsight,
one of those is awesome.
In hindsight, though,
they're both awesome.
I think both are awesome. I think the Warrior pick, in hindsight, while I like Warrior more than Karate Kid, I think people have seen Karate Kid more than they've seen Warrior. So I would have taken purely for stuff the ballot box.
And you get a Cobra Kai bump. Everyone loves Cobra Kai.
Exactly.
Yeah.
These are two movies that I am not particularly, they're not in my wheelhouse as much as they are clearly in some others, but The Natural obviously was not taken. And Friday Night Lights for a more recent one. I did write down on my little cheat sheet here, Little Giants. Come on, man. Rick Moranis and fucking Rick Moranis and Al Bundy are in a movie as football coaches.
The annexation of Puerto Rico.
Man.
I got you.
Is Creed the wrestler will take. I had and then my last three, and I'm a little bummed. I almost wish we had done a category for the sport. Not a single golf movie was taken, and Tin Cup is one of my favorite movies ever. Caddyshack,
amazing that nobody picked it, but
I mean, fucking unbelievable. And then a little love to Happy Gilmore, just tap it in.
I thought you were going Caddyshack. I really did. And then when you went Rocky, it's like, oh wow, he can't take Caddyshack at any point in this now.
I know. Yeah, I felt like I needed to do it.
Oz, can you guess the movie that I wanted to take with my wild card, but I know it would automatically disqualify me? It's a football movie.
Oh yeah, the Adam Sandler Longest Yard.
Oh wow, in hindsight.
Or how about the original Longest Yard?
No, he likes the Sandler one more.
I like the Sandler one more. Yeah. Give me Chris Rock over whoever is caretaker in the old one. I was thinking Draft Day.
Oh my God.
I knew enough people weren't going to see it and think it's cheesy. Vontae Mack, no matter what, is all I'm going to say.
You really do love that fucking movie.
Yeah, really. Wow.
That entire final 10 minutes where he makes the trade with the Jaguars, then makes the trade with the Seahawks. It would never happen, but damn it if it isn't thrilling.
Where are we at on Cinderella Man? Any love?
I like Cinderella Man.
Yeah, I like Cinderella Man.
It was on my list for a potential option if I got screwed on Creed. I liked, I wanted to take Brian's Song, but no one has seen it. A TV movie from the 70s.
No, James Caan, people have seen Brian's Song.
No, people have not. Brian's Song is very much lost, especially with the younger listeners. That movie's dynamite. And I really thought long.
It was featured in an episode of Entourage. So every douchebag frat bro's probably seen it.
Yeah, all 1.2 million people.
I was going to say, you and me know about that. Yeah, better about everybody else.
And the other one I thought would have been a good sort of middle of the road pick that everybody likes. And, when you look down the list, you go, oh yeah, that's a good movie. That's Seabiscuit. I think Seabiscuit would have been a strong ballot stuffer here.
Seabiscuit is, that's an enjoyable movie. Shout out Toby Maguire, right? I had Rush in my back pocket if we were going to do the racing category. That's a fun movie. Another older one, Bad News Bears. But again, it's like how many people listen to this are really into that. And then we talked about Jerry Maguire, and it hits me in my wheelhouse because of the age I was when I saw it. And I remember seeing this movie in the theater, and I remember the whipped cream bikini.
Oh yeah, hell yeah! I saw that movie in the theater too. Mm-hmm. Ali Larder, baby.
I bet you did. Andrew, no thought to Ali?
No, even though it's like up there for Will. I think I said this on the pod that up there for what?
I thought you were going to take King Richard.
That's the other one that I was.
I was thinking, but like that's the thing, right? It's purely a heart pick because nobody's seen it.
Yeah,
like nobody's seeing anything.
It did okay on HBO Max.
I think,
okay again.
Yeah,
it's not really. Let's see. A lot of people haven't seen King Richard. It's a great sports movie, but a lot of people haven't seen it.
I went. Listen, if people think Will Smith, I think they think Men in Black, Independence Day, Bad Boys. They think of the charismatic roles. His biopics, like I might as well just pick Concussion.
No. See, I disagree. The tactical thing here, people are going to be voting right as he wins Best Actor. Right, the poll will be up for like a week. He's going to win Best Actor on Sunday. It's a little burst.
I think people will not know. Oh, that's the movie that Will Smith is nominated for. Will be the reaction more than it will be. Hey, look, Will Smith. Like, whoa, that's King Richard.
Flog it on Twitter.
Hold on. We should also shout out one of the few sports movies to win Best Picture. It did not even come up in this conversation yet. Chariots of Fire.
That movie sucks.
Oh.
I ran track.
The guy that ran track.
That movie sucked. That movie's fucking boring as hell. It's not even the best track movie.
The list of individual movies I made, of list of baseball movies, I should say. My fifth in the category was 42. The Jackie Robinson starring Chadwick Boseman. Pretty much every scene hits that's supposed to hit. It's a little on the nose, but I think it deserves mentioning at least. I think we've hit all the honorable mentions. So I don't know. I was never going to pick Invincible because, fuck the city of Philadelphia.
Right. So I have one that's may or may not qualify. And I was wondering what your thoughts are on Rounders.
Ooh.
It's a good call. I think, do you have a lot of people has that been lost to time?
No, I don't think so. Yeah. Anybody who's ever played poker.
Sport.
It's on ESPN. Like
it's in the Olympics.
And anybody,
poker's not in the fucking Olympics.
Poker's not in the Olympics. I thought it is an Olympic sport.
I don't know.
It's not.
No,
all right. Well, they do have a World Series of it.
You're right. And it is on ESPN. No, the reason I bring it up,
which anybody, you right now, Andrew Claudio, can buy your way into the World Series of Poker this year.
Patreon. We need you guys to sign up even more.
$100,000. Stake Andrew.
My stake to get into the World Series of Poker.
Yeah, but I mean, that's the thing. Like poker, if you've played for several hour sessions and you're playing against high level competition, I mean, it takes a toll on you.
Sure. So does video games. Let's do The Last Starfighter for sports movies.
You know what? Give it a generation, Bernard, and we're going to be the ones who are out of touch on this one because video games are blowing up in a way where that actually will be considered.
That's actually very true.
Very accurate. Yeah.
Just a couple of shout out. Dodgeball that's a sport.
Dodgeball.
I don't think basketball would have qualified, but I remember that movie going experience very well. And a movie actually put on. I don't know. Maybe it could have been because of final review. I don't. No, I couldn't have been. I don't know. Maybe I just wanted to watch it. I, Tanya's. I love that movie. It's a lot of fun. Yeah.
Well, if we're talking about because of final review and want to actually try and win rather than pick a movie no one's seen, Everybody Wants Some is like my second favorite baseball movie.
Oh, love that movie.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I'm pretty sure everybody just now had to Google Everybody Wants Some.
Right.
Nobody's seen that movie.
I've not seen it.
Except for Bernard and Andrew.
Yeah. Me. So
Linklater, baby.
Oz would vote for me in that sense.
I would actually.
Yes. What's the baseball movie where the kid manages the Twins?
Little Big League.
Yeah.
And
then the Dennis Quaid movie is The Rookie.
That's
pretty good. Mr. Baseball?
What's that?
Huh?
Is it Mr. Baseball is
Mr. 3000's the Bernie Mac movie.
Mr. 3000.
Mr. Baseball is what's mustache?
Tom Selleck.
Selleck, yeah.
That's the one I was thinking of. Yeah.
He goes to Japan.
Yes.
Another one I was thinking of. So Bernard made fun of it earlier, but I actually think Bend It Like Beckham would have been a solid pick.
I think it's a good movie.
I've never seen it,
but it's fun to piss on.
You've never seen it, really?
Guys, our listeners are, I'm guessing, predominantly male, so
they haven't seen the girl soccer movie. Yeah, They have to unfortunately Google what A League of Their Own is probably.
If there's one movie that if there's one
someone
movie
text Chris.
That's the thing, is I'm going off of his generation.
I remember I was with a bunch of my bar buddies. God, nearly 20 years ago, we did like an email chain. This was back before. My God, this was back before texting was like a regular thing. I wish I was kidding. And we were trying to determine like the greatest movie character of all time. And Jimmy Dugan was like he made it very, very, very far. Like just see the movie for Jimmy Dugan, and the rest of the movie is fucking awesome too. But yeah, please go watch A League of Their Own if you haven't seen it. You're listening. This was a lot of fun. I know you guys plugged already from our other podcast. Quick plugs before I let you go. Yash, give me something.
Just follow me on Twitter for Knicks sports,
Jets,
and
JETS, Jets.
Oh God, and the criminal justice system, and also donate to your local bail fund.
Oh, there you go. You forgot to say that before. Yeah, good call. Bernard?
Follow me on Twitter at OzOnMovies. Go to theinventionofdreams.com. Follow theinventionofdreams.com on Twitter at inventofdreams. And also follow The Invention of Dreams' YouTube channel, where we've had a bunch of interesting interviews. And Andrew and I are about to record our Oscar predictions after this episode finishes recording. So,
oh boy, giddy up.
Late night.
I just want to say thank you to all of our patrons. You guys are amazing. Thank you for supporting Knicks Film School. And we will be back with another great episode next week. Peace out.